Okay, YouTubers, this tutorial is going to be on Zoom and how you can protect yourself on Zoom. They just did a new update, 5/12/2020. First thing you want to do is go to zoom.us and download the new updated version. At the end of the month, they're going to go ahead and make sure everybody has that installed, or you won't be able to get on Zoom with the old installer. Okay, it doesn't matter now. Make sure you pick the right the one. This one's for the client. This one will be the first one that shows up for Windows. Install that. Then you want to go ahead and run Zoom. If it'll ever come up. There it is. Okay, so it was already running. Okay, you want to go to your settings. First thing you want to do is go to your settings and then view more settings. Now, if you're not logged in, it's going to ask you to log in. Okay, I'm going to set this down for a second. Okay, you want to go to meetings. Now, these are all the new updates. The features on April 12th, important blogs. If you want to read these and go ahead through them, you can go ahead and do that. But what they've done was they now have an encryption. If you were on a meeting with somebody else and somebody was able to get that information and lock it and get in there, there was no encryption, so they would be able to hear what you say and see what you see. Now they're going to have encryptions that won't allow that. So that's what that's all about. But the biggest thing for Zoom bombers is they get in your meeting and they go and they share their screen and they basically blab a lot. You know, they do slurs and stuff like that. So what you want to do here is you're going to go to your meetings and then, okay, room management. There we go. Zoom rooms. Now see, these are all new updates today. That's not it. They've moved everything as well. Alright, we're going to find it. Well, obviously, oh my goodness. They moved it all. All right. There you go. There they are. Okay, folks, we're back. So you're going to have to go to the settings. Basically, you're going to click view more settings, and then you're going to come up with this page, but it probably won't be on the settings. Now we're on the settings. You got recordings, webinars, and all that. But this one's going to be on settings. Start meeting with host video. You can leave that on or off. That's up to you. Participants video. Basically, you can leave that on so you can see if they're a real person and see who they are. Computer audio. Join before host. You want to make sure that is unchecked like it is. It comes a standard like that. The real important ones are coming up. This to me isn't even a real important one. It says required a password, and you can't even change that now. But the passwords aren't what's keeping people from bombing. It's the share screen feature. You can go ahead and see prevent from saving chat. You check that and save that. You come down here. Who can share? Here we go. Share screen. This is the big one. Okay, only host. So it's set up like that from the beginning. If you asked all participants, you're leaving yourself open for Zoom bombers. Just get that correct right now. Who can share when someone else is sharing? That's fine. I mean, you could leave it at host only or participants, depending on if you want, or participants, depending on whether or not you want them to be able to laugh or clap or whatnot, or be able to interject in the meeting. Disable desktop screen sharing for users. Now, see, this is open. So right now, if you opened this meeting up, I'll give you an example. We'll go ahead and join a meeting. We'll start one. Let's just click all this down. If we was to start a new meeting, and join with computer, and if somebody else wanted to come in here now, they would be able to share that screen. Okay, and that's what you don't want. So we're going to end the meeting. Come up here, go to settings. All right, we're back where we want to be. Let's go to settings. We're going to go to settings here. And we're going to scroll down to where we were. Allow participants to share their screen during the meeting, only host. But then down here, disable the desktop screen for share for users. And you have to go ahead and disable that. See? That's a big one. Whiteboard. Allow participants to share whiteboard during a meeting. You want to click that uncheck. Okay, you click that back to where you're not letting them do that. Remote control. During screen sharing, a person who shares can allow others to control. No, you want to get that off of there. Okay, another one. This is where all the Zoom bombers are getting people. Hide participants, that's up to you. But if you're running the meeting, you want to see who's in the meeting, so you really don't want to do that, and that's fine. Report participants to Zoom. Well, it won't be any good if you let them in and share their screen. They're going to ask you, why did you let them do that? Allow participants to save fully closed captions or transcripts. I would leave that unchecked. So you want to leave that dimmed. Far end camera, leave that unchecked. Virtual backgrounds, that's just if you want or not. Don't think too many Zoom bombers are using that as a weapon yet. But if they start to, you can just uncheck that. Identify your guest participants in the meeting. Participants who will belong to an account. Yes, you want to let them identify themselves. That's another one. Auto answer. That's whether or not you want to auto answer or not. That has nothing to do with Zoom bombing. We went all over that. Just want to make sure we got the chat correct. Allow meeting participants to send. We can. I would disable the chat unless you really need it for your meeting. These are for public meetings, by the way, mostly used by self-help groups and such like that. This is where they're getting you. And that's about it. Private chat, allow. Here we go. Allow meeting participants to send a message visible to all participants. That unchecked. That's a good one. Allow meeting participants to send private to one another. That's another one. So they went ahead and disabled that as well. You used to be able to send files in the chat. I guess maybe, here you go. File transfer. Host participants can sell. No, you want to uncheck. That's a major one. So there we have it. We have everything all locked up. You want to mute them as they come in if you want to do that. Let's see, it should be at the very top. Participants start meeting with video on. Determine participants can join audio portion. Okay. Thought there was one more that had participants mute them as they come in. So that might be in the actual meeting. Let's go to the meeting itself. And there it is. All right, we're going to start a new meeting. Join with computer audio. There we go. Now muting people. Okay, up in here. Okay, participants. We go over here. You can mute all the participants. And then allow participants to unmute themselves. Uncheck that and then hit yes. And now you're pretty much secure before you start the meeting. It would be a good idea to get to the meeting a half an hour ahead of time so you can get all your settings right if you don't have them. This is another feature. Mute participants upon entry. There we go. We're already muted. Allow to unmute themselves, which is unchecked, which is what you want. Allow participants to rename themselves. Uncheck that one, because then they could change the name and lie to you. Play a chime. That's if you want to keep an eye on who's coming in the meeting. That would be a good one for the host. But sometimes it can be disruptive, and if it is, just uncheck down here. Enable a waiting room. If you're having a public meeting and you're having anybody come in you want, it doesn't matter not whether you have a waiting room, because you can't tell who's who until after they get in and start doing it. So I leave that one unchecked. And there you go. And just to let you know, whoever's talking in the meeting will shoot up to the top of this list here. And that's it. That's all for securing yourself for a public meeting.